Almost any other year, he's the number one pick in the draft. Almost any other one. There's just a handful that he might not have been. But, this year he got stuck behind Caleb Williams. But nonetheless, he ain't that far off. He's a damn special player.
A lot of guys keep saying, I get here at 6:30 and Jaden's already here. So what time are you getting here? And what are you doing in the morning when you get here?
Like walking through in the bubble, in the indoor. Watching film and stuff like that, but just trying to prepare myself for the day. It's kind of just that routine that I had when I was in college.
Welcome on in, Washington Commander Junkies. Happy to have you guys in for another video. We have some beautiful things we got to talk about. First things first, we will talk about the Brandon Ayuk trade rumors. We have got to go in depth into what that could be. Is it real? Is it smoke? We'll get calculated on that. And then there are three defensive players that your new head coach and Dan Quinn has been very quote-unquote impressed by. So we're going to go over those three guys. And then there's a player who I really liked coming out of the draft, who I'm sure you liked coming out of the draft, has changed positions. We're going to talk about that as well. And then we're going to talk about Jaden Daniels to finish everything up. We have to discuss Washington Commanders' possible trade with Brandon Ayuk and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, if we take everything for what it is, what will this do for the Washington Commanders day one? You already see a beautiful window, a beautiful opportunity for Jaden Daniels to literally have one of the best offensive outlets in the NFL. So you have what, you could say what JJ has. So JJ McCarthy out in Minnesota to already come in the league. You have TJ Hawkinson as your tight end, Justin Jefferson as your one, and then Jordan Addison as your two. What a great group of guys to start your career with. And then you head over to what Mr. Caleb Williams has. And, he already has Keenan Allen in the building, along with DJ Moore, and along with Roma Dunze. This is what the game is about today. How many weapons can you give to this young quarterback to make things pop off? I mean, we see how the 49ers are really losing this asset in Brandon Ayuk because of a potential quarterback situation, a quarterback contract with the 49ers and Brock Purdy, right? So this is what you want to do. I think this is a huge, absolutely huge opportunity for the Washington Commanders to have Jahan Dotson, who I think is a receiver who really hasn't even scratched the surface on how good, legit good he is. I even Commanders fans, I would want to say on a general basis, not all of y'all, but on a general basis, you guys don't even understand how good Jahan Dotson is. And I mean that full stop, genuinely. And then you have Scary Terry, right? Everybody knows how great Scary Terry is. He's a consistently underrated wide receiver in the National Football League, but his quarterback play just hasn't been consistent enough to really stamp him as that juggernaut, just in and out, year after year, just consistent top 10 dude. And unfortunately, it just hasn't panned out that way, but we all know how freaking good he actually is. And then add in young upcoming star in Brandon Ayuk, who did everything that he has done. His entire resume of talent has been predicated off of quarterbacks like Jimmy Garoppolo, a little bit of Sam Darnold, and some Brock Purdy. Wait. So he's getting highly touted as a legitimate trade partner from having Jimmy Garoppolo, who if you ask yourself right now what team he plays for, you'll probably get it wrong, right? And then you have Sam Darnold, who is in Minnesota, who can't keep a job to save his life. I think this is like his 5th or 6th team. And then Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant. Literally, his title is just saying he's irrelevant, but, he's done great things, and he's not as bad as a quarterback that I personally thought he was, but it's because he had these weapons. Brandon Ayuk, who played with Jaden Daniels at Arizona State, Jaden's first year is a freshman, had Brandon Ayuk. If you want to play this little beautiful puzzle, Jaden Daniels helped Brandon Ayuk get into the National Football League. If you want to play that game, that was his college quarterback, you have been seeing time in and time out how that is always a beautiful recipe to really bring upon your organization. And I don't want to bring this up, but I mean Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase had that connection in college. So I would love to see that connection reignited with Brandon Ayuk and Jaden Daniels. And you're seeing a lot of beautiful things with Jaden Daniels. He's a guy that's always in the facilities, a guy that's always trying to get better. And I think when you see a young talent like Jaden Daniels doing things that you may not have been fully equipped to see. There's been quotes, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's quotes of Jaden Daniels saying, I didn't know the Commanders were going to get me. Say that with what you will in guarding that whole situation, but when you get a kid like Jaden Daniels into your facilities and you're starting to see, oh shit, he could do this, he could do that, and he does it consistently and he's very, very accurate. Oh, we haven't even mentioned how freaking athletic he is. Yeah, let's go get him a weapon. So I really, 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 really genuinely hope that you guys are doing everything you can to bring Brandon Ayuk into the building, pay him the money, get the trade value, do whatever you got to do, because I think I have some big, big hopes for Mr. Jaden Daniels to get things going. And now we got to talk about one of your major position changes. I want to talk about this, and then we'll talk about the Dan Quinn 3 players. Did y'all know that Jamin Davis is switching to defensive end? And the reason why I like this is because I like Jamin Davis, but it does not seem like the stand-up linebacker position has been faring him very well. And so what happens is you bring in a guy like Frankie Louvu and you bring in a guy like Bobby Wagner, where you can see up front, hey, your linebacker position, your linebacker group, at least starting-wise, we're good. You bring in Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, who I think he's got a few more seasons underneath his belt as a top dude. And then you just see this opportunity for Jamin Davis. Hey, look, the Commanders declined your 5th option for 2025. They declined it already. You got to make something work out long-term wise as a defensive end for this team. And so I don't know what that means, but I just know he's athletic. He's got some tools. He's been in the NFL for a while. And the number one thing is he understands, hey, this is do or die. Whether it's as a linebacker again, or, if he wants to see if he can get some edge work money, he's got to figure it out. This is a great year for Jamin Davis to be on the lookout for everything he's done and everything he's doing and wanting to do in this upcoming season. I thought that was crazy when I saw that, but it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And then we have the 3 players that Mr. Dan Quinn, your head coach, has already kind of pushed out that he is very impressed by these athletes. And I'm going to give you a quote. I would say of what I was hoping to see, I did. And maybe that's with safety, Jeremy Chin. Quinn said, I would say it's been good to see DB Quan, that's Quan Martin, some down in the box, but some as a middle field safety as well. And then Frankie Louvu, although I knew that was part of his game, I'd say it was probably even stronger than I thought. So those would be some, that just jump out to me. So those are 3 guys off the bat that he needed to mention that have impressed him so far. And those are the beautiful positions. And I feel like, Martin, he is entering his 2nd season, but that's definitely a guy, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I think he can play up and down and all around all of the secondary positions. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be the starting safety. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. But yeah, you bring in a guy like Frankie Louvu and Jeremy Chin who played in Carolina together, so you have a connection, right? You already have 2 guys who were successful. Carolina's defense last year was not a joke. They were the real deal. It's just our offense wasn't really helping them out with anything. And so you bring in those 2 guys, bring them into the building. You already know you have Bobby Wagner, who is already giving life into that defense, and he's going to give direction. He's going to give legitimate guidance to that defense. And so you guys are beautifully, beautifully in this pocket window to where I say, go get Ayuk. You got to. You have to make things work out. You got to go get that money, because he is just going to help you mold and stretch the limbs of Jaden Daniels. And so you guys let me know in the comments if you agree. You guys let me know how bad you want Brandon Ayuk, and let me know where you guys are at with Jaden Daniels. Let me know where you guys are at with this upcoming season. I really, really want to know. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.